Hi, folks. Good evening. I want to introduce you all to the miracle baby, Vivian, her mom, Mindy, and Granny there on the right, holding the baby, 2 months old. You're all welcome on board. And no one better than you guys to tell the story as it happened.
All right.
About Vivian.
Let's start. Go there. You want to go? Vivian's very active. Yeah.
Very good. Well,
She'll be back.
yes.
She's gonna take a break.
Sure, no problem.
Please start.
Okay.
Well,
so,
we'll get Vivian back on board when she has a little break. Oh, there she is. Yes.
There she is.
Very good.
Here, put her right here. Vivian, he's talking to you now. He's talking to you. He's telling things.
And a few weeks ago, Vivian was diagnosed with a tumor. Can you tell us all about that, please?
yes. So it actually started back in September when she had started school and we were waiting for the bus and she crawled up in my lap in the driver's seat and I went to pick her up and I noticed on the right hand side, watch out, Cecilia. I noticed on the right hand side of her torso she had a mass and it kind of took me off guard and I said, well, Vivian, what is that? And she goes, it's a cheeseburger. It's my cheeseburger. And I go, it's a cheeseburger? And she says, yeah. And I'm like, okay. So she had a doctor's appointment, I believe in October. And this has been a thing that's been going on for a while. And I asked her about when she goes to the bathroom, you know, when she goes to urinate, she would always poop just a little bit. And I asked her if that was normal. And she said, yeah, that's normal. She might be a little constipated, but nothing to worry about. So every time I go to I take her to the doctor, I mention it and she'd say something about changing her diet or whatever. And at that time she did eat a pretty good variety of different foods. And she never felt her stomach or anything. And so fast forward till, what was it? March or
March of this year.
Yeah, it was in March, I think, and I'd gotten really sick, and Cecilia, hey, honey, I'd gotten sick, and I went to the doctor in a different town, and I just so happened to bring Vivian with me, and the doctor had me lay on the table, and she felt my stomach, and I was like, oh, I'm like, maybe she could feel Vivian's stomach to see if she could tell me, if that's normal or if she's just constipated like the other doctor said, or, whatever. And so I asked her if she would feel Vivian's stomach while, we were there. And she felt her stomach and she said, oh, what is that? And I said, I don't know. I asked Vivian that. And she goes, I don't think that should be there. That shouldn't be there. So she ordered x-rays for Vivian and we went and got x-rays done and it showed that she was constipated. 2 weeks later, so she'd also at that time, after she found out that she was constipated, she had set up an appointment for her to get an ultrasound too. But it wasn't until like the end of the following month. So no, yeah. So anyway, yeah, it wasn't until the end of April. So we went to the ultrasound on the Friday, and hold on a second. I'm a little bit distracted. Okay. First, it was like 2 weeks after she had got the x-rays done, and it said that she had constipation. Well, 2 weeks after that, the school called me and said that they thought her appendix had burst. And that was really scary for me. And it just so happened to be on my birthday. So I left work. I took her to the emergency room. I told them that she had problems with her stomach. There was like a lump there, and they did x-rays, and there was no constipation in those x-rays. So then that made the doctor in the other town in Eagle Grove even more nervous. And it was so crazy because at the same time, Cecilia had an eye that just swelled up, just shut. And I had to take her to a regular doctor. So I took her and Vivian to their regular doctor. And she said that, I had her, look at Vivian's stomach and actually push on it. And she goes, oh yeah, it should be there. So she moved the ultrasound to, I think, that Friday. So that was on a Monday. She moved the ultrasound to a Friday instead of the end of the month. And on that Friday, they found a massive tumor that was on the bottom of her liver. They didn't really know the exact location at that time. They just knew it was on the liver. But it was.
What size was the
10.5
tumor?
centimeters. It was like 10.5 centimeters by 7.5. And they're like, so they immediately ordered blood work and a CT scan. So on that Friday, we did all of those things. And it was such a hard day for everyone, and especially Vivian. And on our way home from the doctors that day, after finding out, we had to do all those things, we left and we got halfway home, and the doctor called me and told me that she had cancer. Yeah, that broke my heart. Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, everything that we've been through, and she's saying that because of her blood work, and the location, or not the exact location, but where the tumor seemed to be, it was cancer, and that she made an appointment. I can't bite that off. She made an appointment for us to go to Blanks Children's, to the cancer center. And that was for Monday. And so that was a really hard thing to find out. And I contacted you guys first, and immediately you're the only people that I had told at that point what I just found out. And I just for some reason knew that you guys could help, and you did. You immediately talked to her, and you talked to me, and it was just incredible what you did, and just speaking to her, and how she reacted was also just unbelievable. I've never seen her just be like, Mom, I'm just gonna lay down, and she exposed her stomach to you and you didn't even tell her to. And I just thought that was just such a beautiful thing. And so at our appointment on Monday, they didn't do blood work. They didn't do anything besides just sit there and tell me what procedures they plan to do to her, and offer us experimental cancer treatments, like different medications that they don't know how they react with other people and stuff like that. They told me that they would put a port in her chest that would go directly into a vein that goes right into her heart for the chemo for her. And I asked them why they would put a port that goes directly to her heart, and they said because the chemo will melt her veins. And I don't think you should put something in your body that's gonna do harm like that. And so I told them, no, they don't need to do that. We'll go ahead and have it removed, have the tumor removed, and that's fine, but they're not going to put chemo into my child or the experimental medications, just to see how she'll react to it. And at that point, they're like, well, we strongly suggest it, and we suggest that you think about it because, there's a good chance that, you're really gonna get to know us around here, and we'll be seeing you a lot more and all of these things. And I was like, gosh, I hope not. So
yes.
right? Like,
Okay.
I would love to see you anywhere else. Like, see you on a beach somewhere or, out to eat. Just not
Socially
here.
or whatever. Yes, of course. Yeah.
Right. So, we did schedule the appointment, and we were back and forth 4 days out of 5 that week to do just meet with different doctors and have different tests and stuff done on her, and that was really hard. But they had the surgery on the following Monday, so 2 weeks later, and they said that they wouldn't know anything about so they still had up to the second that they took her away, they still had in the order that she was getting a port in, and every single time they're like, okay, well, we're gonna put the port in. And I said, you're not putting anything into my daughter's heart. You're not doing that. And I said, so don't do it. And I kept telling them, don't do that. And her surgeon came in, she goes, I'm the one that's doing the surgery. I would be the one that's putting in the port or not. And she goes, I know that you do not want that port in. She goes, so I will do the surgery, and then we'll go from there. And I said, okay. I'm like, please don't do that to her. Because she explained it, and I have huge faith in her. She's very detailed in exactly how she does things, and it's so wonderful. And I'm very glad that we had her for a surgeon.
Absolutely.
She showed us that she drew a picture, and she said that the tumor was just on the very end of Vivian's liver. And when they removed it, it was 13.5 centimeters by 11.5 centimeters by 10.5. I was like, oh, but it was massive. And they told us, we won't be able to tell you, for 2 weeks if it's cancer or not. And even though they were saying that her blood work was cancer and all of this, they said that we won't know for 2 weeks. We can have a somewhat educated guess by after 24 hours, but that's not always accurate. And they were just planning basically for the worst and the worst. And then they came in, I guess, yeah, you can tell them that part. Okay, so Monday was fine. It was a long day. Tuesday, I don't think Vivian had any visitors Tuesday, and it was a really hard day. She was in a lot of pain, and she just cried the whole day. And it didn't matter what we said, what we did, give her the whole world, and she was still in a lot of pain. So then Wednesday rolls around and she's able to have visitors.
Tuesday we can.
Tuesday you did come in? Okay.
That's Wednesdays when the guy comes.
Oh, okay. Okay, yeah. So she did get visitors on Tuesday. On Wednesday, I could not do any more crying because she was in so much pain from the surgery. And I didn't think that the incision looked like it was that big, but it really is pretty big. But anyway, so I needed a break, and my mom said that she would stay with Vivian while I went and had lunch and showered, because I hadn't gotten to shower yet. And while I was gone, now you can tell your side.
Okay, she left, and while she was gone, the oncologist people came in, and they were getting her ready to go to be prepped for her cancer treatment and pick her or get her room all settled in. And I said, she doesn't have cancer. And they're like, yes, she does. And I said, no, her mom says she doesn't have cancer. And so then the lady just was like, oh, you just are in disbelief right now. And they have a room set for her, and they were gonna prep all of everybody for it and get us situated for the long journey of cancer treatment. And they were getting ready to move her. And I said, no, because she doesn't have cancer. Just wait till her mom gets back. And mom wasn't back yet. And the doctor comes in, and he's all bouncy and like happy and rubbing his hands together. And he says, where's mom? And I says, well, she stepped out for a little bit. And he's just all excited, and he's looking around and like, can I tell you this? And I'm like, yeah, what, please do. And he goes, she does not have cancer. She had cancer.
Wow.
She does not have cancer. We even find it in her blood work. And I said, well, her mom's had her see a healer. I said, so maybe that was it. And he looked shocked. Everybody looked shocked. And the next day she got moved up to a regular room, and she was in a lot of pain and crying, and she fell asleep in Mindy's arms, and she called you. And I was sitting there, laying there watching, and my eyes were just, when you were talking to her, my eyes felt like when your feet fall asleep and they got pins and needles. And I can feel that, and I can feel it through her. And she just opened her eyes and kind of relaxed. And then after you talked to her, she was really relaxed. And then she got up. She says, I'm going to eat. I'm going to drink. I'm going to go pee. And I'm going to go poop. And I'm leaving.
Wow.
And she did. She did just that.
She did all of the things.
She did all
Wow.
that. And she left, and she hasn't been any pills or anything.
She hasn't.
Yes, well, we worked with her pain during that session. And of course, as far as I can remember, she slept for some time afterwards. Is that right?
Yes.
The first session, she slept almost the whole day. And I contacted Britt, the very first session when you did the healing at home, she slept almost the whole day. And then
Okay.
when you did the pain healing on her, she was perfect. I thought she was gonna sleep the whole day to sleep it off, but she got up immediately. She wanted to eat. She wanted to play. She wanted to do makeup. I was just like, oh my gosh, like she is just fine.
100% flip.
Yeah. And I
You
really
were
thought,
shocked, obviously, at that stage at how quickly she recovered after the
yes, it was
procedure.
miraculous. It was miraculous.
It was just amazing.
Because that morning, the prior days, she did not want to get out of bed. She didn't want to do anything.
She didn't want anybody to look at her. Either.
No, she wouldn't let anybody look at her. She was just crying. And then right after you did that healing, I literally thought she was just going to be out. She was just going to sleep the whole rest of the day. But she was perfect. She was up, walking around. She wanted to do makeup. She wanted to go potty. She blew up. She was blowing bubbles. Like, it was just, I was like, I got my girl back.
Yes, it's
So-
like she was completely healed. They took out all of her IVs because she didn't need her medicine and.
Yeah,
Wow.
they wanted her to take Tylenol and stuff, and I said, I don't think that. I'm like, she can take it, but I don't think she has any pain now. Like, I don't think she's hurting. She wasn't crying. She wasn't acting like she was hurt. And the other thing was, she really didn't sleep that night either. I mean, she just wanted to play. She was just like, she missed out on those few days from actually being in a lot of pain to just feeling better, just 100% better.
And what did the doctor say at that stage?
They said, well, she can go home. They said, we'll do a check every 3 months. We'll do blood work, and because what happened was when they took blood from her neck or whatever she had an IV in there, and that's what just made them decide that's what made them decide that she didn't have cancer. I don't even know to this day. I don't even know if they even looked at the actual tumor, but just from her blood work, and they said they never seen anything like it. That they had the healthy liver and the tumor just hanging right off the bottom of it, and they said that there was a straight line of the cancer and the tumor and the healthy liver, that they just straight line. There was no like whatever mix of it, and they only took a centimeter or a half a centimeter off the bottom of her liver, half a centimeter, just to make sure that there was no cancer in it. And they said it was the whole tumor must have been the cancer or whatever.
And the treatment that was proposed, what did the doctors say when they didn't need to do that?
To be honest, I tried not to listen, but it was something that she was going to have to do often, so often that they had to put a port opening from her heart to the world all the time. And they said it was a more permanent thing. And I'm like, I can't imagine having a permanent hole directly to your heart, and how that could make anything better.
Okay.
So I couldn't see that. And to be honest, I haven't heard anything good about about chemo and stuff. It just is a hard thing.
Well, the fact that the doctors didn't want to pursue it, and when they came back with the information to you that there was no more cancer in her body, obviously the medics were perhaps just as shocked as you were.
Yeah, they were really shocked. I was more like, I wasn't so much shocked. I was just more happy and relieved. Like I put a lot of faith into your healing before I even really realized what you were capable of. And I think they were just in disbelief. He told me that he doesn't get to tell people that they don't have cancer anymore. And that kind of breaks my heart, because if that's his job, he should be able to tell people that they don't have cancer anymore, especially little kids.
And did the doctor say to you that this was unheard of?
Yes. Yeah. They said I don't get to tell people they don't have cancer anymore. He's like she's free to go. That he doesn't.
With no restrictions.
Oh.
No restrictions at all.
Yeah, and they said that she could have like 4 weeks of restrictions, but she went back to school after the weekend in the hospital. She had the weekend and she went back to school on Monday. And
Yeah.
they had some
You
slight.
know,
they
the
had
video
some
that
slight
you sent
restrictions.
us,
What?
the video you sent us, where she was dancing 2 or 3 or 4 days after the operation, shocked me just the same as it perhaps did yourself and the doctors.
Yeah, it was really shocking just to tell me that she wanted to dance and that she wanted that song specifically to dance to. So I was like, all right, here we are, let's go. So
Amazing story.
what's that?
Amazing story, and I believe that Granny was very emotional and felt some of the work as we worked together. Is that right?
Yeah. Yeah, I just I really believe in what you're capable of. And it wasn't what I expected, but
What did you
it
expect?
turned out better. Oh, I didn't when you did the healing, I didn't expect her to react the way that she did. So, and without you even saying words, you know, she laid down and she showed you without you even saying anything. She showed you where her pain was, or where the problem was. Like she
Yes.
knew that you were really truly going to help. And
Yes.
that just blows my mind. And then on Thursday, when you did the healing for her pain, how I assumed she was going to sleep all day like she did when you did the initial healing, because she slept the entire day and just drank water, and she'd wake up and drink water and sleep. And she didn't. She just kind of slowly woke up, and then she said, I'm going to get out of here today. I'm going to eat and I'm going to drink and I'm going to go to the bathroom. And she blew bubbles and she walked all around and she did her hair and she did her nails and we did everything. We did makeup.
How many days after surgery was this?
That was, it was Thursday morning. And I honestly, I wish I would have contacted you on Tuesday, because Tuesday and Wednesday were so hard. And I kind of kicked myself for that, because I don't know. I just kinda
But
kicked
anyway,
myself.
the end product is amazing and worthwhile, and I have to congratulate you on making decisions and doing the right thing with the help of Granny and the medics.
Yeah.
I believe that Granny was very emotional and tearful and receiving some of the healing yourself. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. Very much. She first told me about it, I was like, it could not happen on the internet. And I'm like scared, and I'm finding places, different cancer places for her to go.
Yeah.
And she's like, leave it alone, Mom. It's going to be okay. And I'm like, okay, I'm trusting this. No, I can't trust this.
Yeah.
And so I was going through all kinds of things. And then the day she was in so much pain and I was sitting there, and she called you, and I was in the whole session. And I was like, just the feeling in the room. I mean, it was wild. And the doctor came in and she sent him out, and we continued, and it was just a wild, wonderful feeling. And she just, I mean, I made 100% believer of me now. 100%. I was like, wow, I cannot, and I felt it and I seen it. And
Yes.
And the
Seeing
whole time,
is believing, of course.
what's that?
Seeing is believing.
Oh, yeah, seeing, feeling and outcome. Oh, yeah, it was amazing.
And
Well-
the whole time when she was in all of that pain, she had an epidural in. And that was supposed to take her pain away. But I don't know. I don't think it was working, or it wasn't enough, or I don't know. But all I know is after you did your healing and she woke up, they took it out. They took her off all the pain medicines and her IV and her catheter, and all of her things were done. And I just,
During the session,
what a blessing.
during the session when she was in the pain, when the doctor came in and I took him out to the hallway and explained to him that you were talking to him and working with her, or talking to Mindy and Vivian and working with her. And he had this surprised look on his face. And I said, you can come back in about 20 minutes. And he come back and he was like, she's doing great.
Yeah, he's like,
she take all the stuff off her. And
yeah, he's like, they'll be in at this time to take this off and this off and this off and just take all the things out. And I was like,
yeah, she
Thank
never
the
went
Lord.
home with a pain pill.
no.
Well, we're delighted that the end product is very, very successful, and we thank you all very much for your input. And of course, the medics did a wonderful, wonderful job.
Yeah.
And obviously, Vivian, one of the best little patients that I've ever worked with.
Yep.
And I want to thank you for that, Vivian. And maybe before we go, sorry.
I couldn't hear him. He's saying thank you.
And thank you very much. Thank you for being one of my best patients.
How about that? Are you his best?
And I
friend?
treat hundreds and hundreds of people across the world every year. And I'm more than delighted with you and your family. Before we go,
we're sure happy that you came into our lives. Can't thank you
okay.
enough.
Well, thank you all very much. Keep us in contact or keep us posted. We look forward to hearing from you. And again, thank you for giving your version.
Thank you.
And keep in touch with us as well. So God bless you all. Thank you. Take care.
God bless
And
you.
good
Thank
night.
you.
God bless. Thank you.